My heel spur hurts right now. Whew. I'm wearing the wrong shoes, fellas. This is who I am. I'm not a quitter. I'm wearing the wrong shoes. Stare at myself 24/7 because flawless. I'm wearing the wrong shoes. I can't just do YouTube because to me that's boring. What's up, my dirty, nasty, stinky bra? I'm wearing the wrong shoes. For literally, I get jealous. I'm wearing the wrong shoes. I know how to lose weight better than anybody, but I'm not a dirty person. Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So it is a Wednesday weigh-in. I'm honestly not sure how many more Wednesday weigh-ins we're gonna be doing.
I think Amber really needs to continue her Wednesday weigh-ins. If she's just totally disconnected from the goals that she has set for herself, she's never going to reach them. And even her being connected, it's still so difficult. So I don't know how her being even disconnected from them could be any way beneficial toward her progress.
I'm just all over the place when it comes to my YouTube schedule. I keep changing it. It's literally only been like a month and a week.
Yeah, it's really interesting that she can't seem to keep up with anything that she says that she would like to. I mean, she has all of these like notebooks and calendars and stuff. I don't understand. I would think that she has a lot of time at home, which she has told us that she does, but she just doesn't seem to make any time for her to do any of the things that she says she wants to do.
Of 2024, and I've already changed my schedule like 3 times. I need to just like slow down, just like stick to something, but right now I just don't know. I don't know what's good for me. I don't know what's good for my channel.
Okay, you definitely know what's good for you health-wise, okay? You even said that you know how to lose weight better than anybody. And definitely leaving your channel or being inconsistent or telling your audience one thing and doing another, that's not going to be good for your channel. That's not good for anyone's channel.
I'm all over the place, but regardless, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be uploading. I'm just not sure when. There will be on Friday though another What I Ate Today video because I do enjoy filming those.
How surprising, Miss Amberlynn likes to film videos of her eating. I know she likes to eat, but man, she just seems so hopeless sometimes, and it's really sad because she's a grown woman completely in charge of her life, and it's like she just lets these hypothetical non-foreseeable forces control her.
I know you guys like to see a little bit of what I eat. I know that's like very highly requested, so that is still gonna be a thing. But beyond that, your girl has no idea. So from my last weigh-in video, I have a little update. As you guys know, someone in public took a photo of me without me knowing, and then took a really creepy weird video of me, of my butt, like literally an inch away from me. I didn't care about the photo, but the video did give me the creeps, and I know a lot of you agree with that. Just like imagine that happening to like your daughter or your mom or something like that. I feel
so first off, I know that if you're a public figure, you don't really have any expectation of privacy, especially when you're in public. Of course, you know, with celebrities and things like that, it's on a way more intense scale, but hypothetically, just throwing a name out there, Logan Paul, I'm sure if Logan Paul were to show up at a laundromat, people were to, would take pictures of him or take a video. So I'm not really getting the point that she's making here. My mother and my sister, they're not public figures, so yeah, it would be a little different, but at the same time, you're in public, people could take pictures of you. So yeah, just weird point.
But the update is, the person who took the photo of me is actually a girl who I actually was talking to at the laundromat, which I find to be even more like weird and creepy because it just goes to show like how fake people can be. Because like she seemed pretty chill. She sat next to me for a little bit. We were both waiting for our stuff and we had a few exchanges. I didn't like talk much to her, but I'm very much used to like being in public and like strangers talking to me, and I am very friendly back. I might be like an Aqua Taco myself.
Aqua Taco, she's so quirky.
So now I'm going to answer 3 of your guys' questions. The first one is, what do you say to the rumors that the weigh-ins are fake? I just think that's silly. This is something that's always been going on my channel where people think I fake my weigh-ins.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you have been caught in many lies, or also that you have spent a lot of time on YouTube and you've been pretty selective with the words that you use, so you don't get any kind of backlash, or maybe you are caught, then you can spin those exact same words to be like, oh, well, I didn't say this, this, and this, even though it's kind of implied by the words. I don't think it's just because people think you're lying. I think it's because you lie, Amber. You have a history of lying, unfortunately.
Because people think that I weigh more than I actually say that I do, which, let's be realistic here. Scientifically, that would be impossible. Because
I don't think it's impossible. I mean, when you usually weigh yourself, you put the camera facing upwards, so it would just be an audio file that you drag in to cover, over. And that's to say, even if you were to actually be standing on the scale in that moment. So it's not impossible, but it's definitely a bit silly.
It's not my size, over 500 pounds. Like I just recently walked a mile. Usually think someone like, if I was bigger than that, if anyone was bigger than that, like that would be like possible. I just know firsthand, like looking at myself from any video, whether it's my video or from someone's camera or a mirror, whatever it may be, I know that I don't look more than my weight.
I mean, even that is pretty inconclusive. You can still fake, that you walked all the time or forged the time that you did. I'm not saying that that's what you did, but I'm saying it's not impossible like you're making it seem out to be. If you wanted to be that sneaky, you could be.
The things that I do on a daily basis, I feel like if I weighed even more, like people think that I'm like 600 pounds, like if I was that, I would not be capable of doing the things that I do on a day-to-day basis. I think
this I can find to be believable because in the past she has become a bit more immobile and had to rely on her partners. So I think the fact that she's living alone now, she has to do all these things on her own. I do think that, she's probably not faking her way in. She's been doing, a little bit better, but that's just because she has to. There's no one else to do these things for her.
People like to say that my weigh-ins are fake because it just creates drama, it creates entertainment, it creates conspiracy, it creates just a way for people to talk, just to create more rumors around my name.
But this is what Amber wants. She wants to keep stirring the pot. She wants the drama. She wants people to talk about her so she stays relevant. But a lot of the time she forgets to think that most people who watch her really do want her to get better. Of course, there are people in like Hater Nation who genuinely do not like Amber. I am not one of those people. I don't believe in enabling her, but at the same time, I do want her to get better. I've been watching her for a long time, and I do want what is best for Amber and her health. Kind of a cop-out, I think, to say that.
Actually very entertaining for people because it just gives people more reasons to talk and just like spew their nonsense. Like,
it's not nonsense though, because all these things are totally like within the realm of believability for you, Amber. You have been sneaky in the past. Granted, everyone is happy if you're being honest and you're truly making progress. That's wonderful. I personally don't wish you to regress or to worse health, but it's not out of the realm of your possibility, Amber. If you wanted to do it, you would do it.
just last year I went to a famous weight loss surgeon's literal doctor's office and stuff on a scale and people were still not believing my weigh-ins. So I think we're past the part of like, oh, we don't trust your man, that's why we don't believe your weigh-ins. It's more so like, hi, I'm wearing a life. So let's like say you don't have weigh-ins because we have to talk about.
This is very funny. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but like I have my own business. I have 2 other YouTube channels that I do. This one's just kind of like a newer one because I figured I've been in girl world for so long. I should probably, throw my 2 cents in. But really, to say that people don't have lives is kind of ridiculous because Amber yourself, you have admitted that you just spend most of your time at home. So I don't know, kind of seems a little funny, but I get what you're trying to say. Do I agree with it? No.
So that's kind of like where I'm at with that. Like I literally don't care if people don't believe my weigh-ins because I know they're true.
As long as you are being honest with yourself and you know the truth, that is all that really matters. A lot of it is speculation at this point because, again, you have this history of being a little shady. So it's not inconceivable to think that maybe Amber is doing this stuff to try and make herself seem better than she actually is.
Next question is, does it get exhausting constantly thinking about your weight? Yes, because it's like I think about it regardless of what I'm doing. I think about it when I'm eating, I think about it when I'm showering, I think about it when I'm walking Twinkie. Like my weight is constantly and consistently on my mind, and yes, it does get very exhausting because sometimes I just like want to exist. And then there are those rare times where I do stop thinking about my weight and I just exist as a person.
I totally understand this. I myself have struggled with body perception and even my weight in general. But I mean, Amber, at this size, it's hard not to imagine you thinking about your weight constantly. I mean, everything must be uncomfortable to some degree for you. And more than anything, especially myself, we just want to see you get better, dude. We want to see you hold yourself accountable to make yourself uncomfortable and be okay being uncomfortable.
But then immediately someone else has to remind me of my size or what I'm eating, anything like that. So it's like, regardless if it was me thinking about it all the time, it's like other people are going to remind me about my weight.
I will say, yes, that is pretty shitty. However, if you are confident in yourself and what you're doing, and you're genuinely making an effort, deep down within, you're not lying, you're not scheming or anything, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people point out your weight because you are you. You are the one who's going to have to live with your body, your choices, your health. I understand, though, it's easier said than done, but I sympathize with you. But at the same time, I don't think forgetting about your weight is healthy because at this point, it is a serious concern to your well-being, not only to your physical, of course, but your mental, because this is something that's still weighs on your mind constantly.
So it's just one of those things where I just gotta deal with it, and it's just like I want to be more than my weight, more than my size, and it just was like even when I try to be more than that and like different than that and like film different videos and that, like it's still everyone's like focus, and I don't need to say everyone like as an absolute, but it just feels like that is such like a heavy topic and
that's a pretty good pun, Amber.
Like a hot topic where it's just like no matter what I do, it's just like my weight, my weight, my weight. That's all anyone wants to talk about.
Well, for all due respect, Amber, I mean, you don't really have a lot much else going on. It's nice to see you get out of the house, to spend time with your family. We haven't seen any friends, but you've been talking about seeing friends. Like, we're all happy for you, but really, like, more than anything, your concern should be your health, your weight, and you trying to better yourself so you can extend your future. I don't think it's ridiculous for people to be concerned about you and your weight because it often seems like you forget about where you are in your health. So
the last question is, are you worried about all the plus size influencers dying? So I chose this question because this is something I've actually been like thinking about a lot. Like, there was recently a video that I saw online of this person talking about all of the recent plus size influencers that have died, and it is so many, and it's just like I have never been part of health at every size because I don't believe that.
This is incredibly relieving to know. You can love yourself, but you can also wish for yourself to be better, to be healthier. So I'm happy to know that Amber is in reality that, the way that you handle, take care of your body, the way you eat, and work your body does directly impact your health and your quality of life.
I'm very much like body positivity though, like love that body physically, like what you look like regardless of your size, because everyone is beautiful, but not every size is healthy, and I feel like that's very obvious.
Thank you, Amber. Yes, you are correct. Everyone is beautiful. Everyone has their own charm to them physically, personality wise. But that is true, Amber. And I'm actually so happy that you say this, because one of the worries for a bit, especially when you have been spending more time on TikTok, is that you would become like this body positive, healthy at whatever size influencer. And I'm just happy to know that, that you can love yourself, you can love what you look like and be accepting of you, but you can also still want to be healthier, to improve your quality of life.
I don't know how it's not obvious to people that being bigger is unhealthy. It does cause so many more health problems statistically. Like, this is just something people say to eat just like fat food, just like I experience fat food every single day. But when it comes to like health stuff, that's not just like fat food, it's not aging, it's just like reality of sugar. Something I've always firmly believed. There was a minute there years and years ago where I was delusional in, where it's like doctors were telling me, yeah, it's perfect, you're perfect, you're healthy, you're just overweight. Like I would hear those things constantly. So it's like blue. But yo, I'm telling you, your 30s, your brain, like I think it becomes more clear. Because I think more clear now. And it's just like, go back to like early 20s, mid 20s is like so different than like now.
I would hope so, Amber. I mean, your brain fully stops developing at 25, so to hear that, maybe if it took a little longer for you to kind of touch some grass and see the reality of your actions, I think it's refreshing to hear.
Anyways, I'm totally rambling, but what I'm trying to say, one day I will be a plus size influencer who has died. That is crazy to think about.
I mean, even though that's not exactly your brand, you just happen to be an influencer who is plus size and, who wants to love your body. It's just a reality for what you have done in the past and how all of these things have culminated to more than likely affect your future or lack of.
But reality is reality is reality. Now sorry, I'm saying this topic, that's one like don't enjoy. Everyone knows. We're talking about this. Same influencers. We're talking about we're influencers, like it's all like this now. But it's just I only see like how many influencers who are plus size have died due to complications. Basically, we're just watching this. I'm worried. It's worried and it's sad and scared. And it's just like if losing weight was easy, then we would all have perfect bodies. We would all have perfect health. Like there's just not the way that works. For some people, yes, they wake up one day thinking, I'm gonna change my life. For other people, such as myself, it's very freaking hard and I move a lot of like up here. It's a lot of like brain chemistry, slash chemicals, mental illness, like so many different things mixed up, and it's not fun, it's not fair.
You're correct, Amber. There are some people who can just wake up and completely change their lives. But a lot of it really has to do with you being able to motivate yourself, hold yourself accountable, just being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah, no problem. But also just saying brain chemistry, like it's not enough for you just to identify that. You have to take that information and apply it to your actions. Because, of course, your brain chemistry is uncontrollable. But if you're aware of that thing, you can at least somewhat try to curtail it or try to place in habits that go around that, make certain things easier for yourself. Yeah, I think just saying it's all in your head, like mental illness, that's totally valid. But once you're aware of that, you got to start taking steps to counter that, to not let that be what stops you.
And you guys have seen me literally try everything under the sun to lose weight, and I always do. I lose weight, but then I gain it back.
I think you have a tendency to just celebrate once you see a little bit of weight loss, whether that's with food, alcohol. Both of those things are going to negatively, impact your goal. It's cool and it's good to reward yourself, but I feel like you tend to over reward. So I think a lot of your celebrations end up hindering yourself when really you can still reward yourself, but it doesn't have to be with food.
But then I gain more, but then I lose again, and then I get back, and I lose and gain is a cycle that has been forever. Literally starting when I was 11 years old. I would not be putting myself through this torture if I had cancer. Everyone's different, everyone's body's different, the way they do things is different. Some people, they literally just wake up and like, I'm gonna do this, and they do it. Some people take 100 different times to try it and they're not successful. But for me, for some reason, I've tried 10,000 times and I just can't seem to get it, and it makes people question all the time, like, does she just enjoy it? Is it just her thing? No, I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate food.
Okay, Amber, you definitely do not hate food. You probably hate more so how much you think about it. But again, that has to do with you, habits, building things, around yourself to protect you from falling into the same patterns.
I hate my weight, I hate my body, I hate my size, I hate the way I walk because of it, I hate the way I'm treated because of it, I hate the health issues I've had because of it.
It is hard to see this because we can see her tearing up and we can really see this, that she genuinely does feel stuck in her body. But again, Amber, it's all mental in your head and you know that it's mental. You have to put systems in place to curtail that. You can't just say, oh, I'm struggling so hard because of my mental chemistry, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, there's plenty you can do about it. There are people everywhere who have mental issues, who struggle with, doing basic life things. But a big part of it is not seizing to that and trying to find ways to make those actions easier for yourself.
I hate the health issues that will happen because of it. Like, I hate every single second, but I feel stuck. I feel mentally stuck. I feel physically stuck. I feel emotionally stuck. I just feel stuck and confused and lost. And it's like, people think they have all the answers. People think they know exactly what to do. And people think that if they were in my situation, they would know what to do. But it's not that easy.
No, it's definitely not that easy, but anything worth really, really having, you have to work for, Amber. And I feel like you tend to forget this a lot, that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be extremely uncomfortable. You're going to have to fight these urges and thoughts in your head that want you to go eat, that want you to binge. But you can't just give in to them because that's just totally going to ruin everything that you've done. Okay? Like to a certain point, up to there. It's sad to see you like choke up like this or to get emotional because yeah, I can totally see your pain. I can totally relate to you feeling stuck, feeling lost, feeling like a prisoner in your own body. But these are all things that you can change. It's just a bunch of little tiny steps, Amber. A bunch of little tiny changes that amount into something so much larger.
I don't want to die because of my weight. I don't want to die because of complications because of my weight. The very thing that has like kept me from living is going to be the very thing to actually keep me from living.
It's hard for myself to see you say this because you're totally correct. And it is mental illness. Like, you can see how everything that you do in relation to food more than likely is irrational. The way that you view food, the way that you take care of your body, a lot of it is irrational. But as long as you can identify that and start making changes to help future Amber, to help your future self, to help any part of you, present and future, that's going to be the biggest struggle that you experience. You have to work through that, unfortunately. It's going to be really uncomfortable. Really, really, really uncomfortable. But it's worth it, Amber. Like, it's okay to be uncomfortable.
And that is scary. It's like the best way to put it is like I feel like I died already.
I can see how you feel like that. I feel like you make this progress and maybe you slip up, you gain the weight back, and then you just feel like a failure again, and you just turn to food to eat more, to fill in this void, emotional void, to feel comfort in a moment of extreme discomfort or a sadness within yourself. These are all things that you have to work through, Amber. Nothing is going to change if you do not change long term.
I have spent majority of my life not living because of my size, not experiencing because of my size, and it's like it's only been as of recently where I have felt myself become alive a little bit more, and I feel myself coming out of like this mentally and physically paralyzed stage that I've been in for so long. And I just every day I just want to improve more, and it's like this last week was like the best week that I've had, and I can't even tell you how long.
That's good, Amber. I'm happy to hear that. Everyone deserves happiness. Just because you're struggling inside doesn't mean that you should try to limit yourself outside. Of course, it's easier said than done. Depression is a great example of that, but I'm happy to hear that you're trying to experience living, to experience, what you are missing most of the time because of these struggles that you have. Not only because of your weight, of course, because that's the physical aspect, but just your ability to hold yourself accountable and take care of these things.
Every day I felt like I was living, every day I felt like I was existing, and I was happy, and I really thought about my weight, and that's very weird for me. Like, literally just things like I'm constantly thinking about my weight and my size, and then the minute I stop, and then I just enjoy life with friends and go to bars and like, get drinks and just all these things. Like I come back after all that, after the high, just feeling so happy, and I stop on the scale, and I gain weight.
That's how life is, Amber. You can't, expect to go out there into the world and indulge, have a great time if you're not being mindful of what you're eating or taking into your body and expect to still be on track. There are ways for you to get around the struggle of gaining weight when going outside, when going out.
That's no surprise. After a week of all of that, and I've never done so much walking in my life, but as someone with lipedema and lymphedema, the more I walk, the more I swell, the more I gain weight. That's something that I have to figure out, something I have to work on.
If that's the case, nonetheless, then you just have to keep going. Even if there's swelling, you probably have to take more breaks, of course. Granted, I don't have lymphedema or lymphedema, but it seems like it's going to be a challenge, regardless, for you to get your body moving. But you got to do it, Amber. You got to be okay with being uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. You're going to be sore. You're going to feel extremely exhausted, not only physically, mentally, and emotionally, even sometimes too, because you're going to have these moments where you want to quit and you have to motivate yourself to keep going.
There's only so much I can do because again, these things are not curable. I just had every single ingredient for happiness this last week while also finding every single ingredient for weight gain. So it's just like bittersweet. It's like the week where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna live my life and I'm just gonna have the time of my life. I'm not gonna think about my weight not one time. The minute I stop thinking about my weight is the minute where things go downhill.
Of course, Amber, that's the same with every kind of addict. As soon as an alcoholic stops thinking about their problems and goes out to drink, shit gets worse for them, or they spiral, or when someone who has like a substance dependency goes out and parties and oh, I'm just gonna do a little bit, it's not gonna be a problem. Of course, this is like you trying to just dip a toe in, but you fall in completely. There are ways to go out, have a good time, and not gain a ton of weight. One example I can think of, like I believe vodka is pretty low in calorie. Probably put that with diet soda. Which one? I don't know, maybe Sprite or something. That could help curtail the taste of it, but it's a little silly, I suppose. And it's silly in the sense that you see it, you recognize it, you can see all these issues, and you can come up with all these solutions, but you can't stick with them because you get discouraged, you get off track, and then you just throw in the towel completely. And it's always just extremely, extremely, extremely sad to see, Amber, because you can do so much, and you can do much more than you think you can. Not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. You can push yourself pretty far if you want to.
So I'm just like so rambly right now. I don't know what is happening, but I'm gonna put my weigh-in right here so we can just move on. I'm going to do my Wednesday weigh-in for you guys. So it is February 7th, which is actually my mom's 55th birthday. So everyone say happy birthday to Mama Lynn.
Happy birthday to Miss Mama Lynn, sending love from Chicago.
So you guys already know I gained weight. I already know. Like I treated the last week as if I was on vacation for the first time in my whole life. And I don't regret a single moment of it. I literally only live once.
But we know that you do regret it, Amber. Again, it just comes down to you being able to find ways to enjoy yourself while being out with people and not feeling let down by yourself in the present moment or a previous version of yourself. And also, yes, YOLO. You only live once. You should be taking care of yourself, Amber. You only get one shot.
It's way weeks right now, so I'm just going to be happy that I woke up alive, living my creative memories last week. Anyways, I really want to let's just set on scale. Alright, so 5.0. Yep. I have feelings, so I can see I did gain weight because last week I was 5.8, and so I was 15.0 today. I gained 6.2 pounds of salt, water retention, calories. I drank my calories a lot this week, and I'm not really focused on that. I just a lot of diet and diet theories, or so I do a lot of that. So drinking my calories, not a good idea because your girl has to drink a lot of water. My goal for last week was to cook more, and I was not successful at all. So my goal for this week is simply just make better choices.
I don't think it's really just you retaining water. Like, of course, the salt does that, but alcohol also does contribute to that as well. But again, just making better choices, setting yourself up, coming up with a game plan. Like, if there's only X kind of food at a party, what can I bring in my bag to keep me satiated? And maybe I'll only have one piece. It's all about balance. And I feel like such a broken record because you totally know all of this. It just, again, it comes down to you being able to keep yourself accountable, to hold yourself to your goals, and doing what you want to do and seeing it through, Amber.
Super important that I do that, whether it's better choices on the food that I eat while I'm at a restaurant or the food that I make at home.
I don't really think that these in general are that great, but I think for Amber, it would be pretty helpful for her to get one of those like meal subscription services, not like the Factor Group ones where you just kind of microwave it. If she wants to feel better about herself, she can just get like HelloFresh or something or Blue Apron. And they send her the recipe completely all portioned out. I think maybe she's done this in the past, but I can't recall exactly. Maybe during the wifey era. But I think that would really help her because it would take a lot of the guessing out of it. She wouldn't have to go grocery shopping for the things. She just picks what she wants. And, maybe X amount of times a week, she knows that she can have a meal or meals that she is going to feel happy with.
Because a lot of people are just like, cook more at home, like, you're gonna do so much better, but you don't realize that, like, I can cook at home just fine, but it's like, it's still like the choices that I have to make. Like, you know how easy it would be for me to make like a whole box of hamburger helper and like eat that and be like, oh, it's totally fine because like I cook that at home. But that's more calories than me getting like, say, a meal from McDonald's. It just like depends on the meal, of course, but it's not always cook at home. Cooking at home doesn't automatically make something healthy.
Of course not. It does mean it's more than likely less processed depending on what you're eating, especially if you are eating more veggies and fruits, clean foods, for example. But of course, it doesn't mean that it's automatically healthy. The example you use is great. Eating an entire box of hamburger helper is not going to be healthy just because you made it at home. That's why I'm saying probably one of these meal subscription services would be really, really good for you.
I like to like that. I'm sure I did but that's just not realistic because there's so many things you cook at home that are just as bad as takeout. And our takeout things that you get is way healthier than what it is cooking at home. So it's all about me because that's like when we're home or we're takeout or whatever we need. I just want to make better choices. Because I'm drinking food at the end, I'm eating vegetables, a little bit of fruit, just like feed my body better things. It's like healthier on scale next week. Is there a way to say, who knows? I know for me, there's going to be really this year. I'm losing 100 pounds. And honestly, I'm only eat those pounds, but I know that it's still good. I'm like, people are laughing at me. It's like one thing I'm also like, and that's why I love myself. And I'm going to up. I'm going to keep trying. And I know a lot of people guys are watching try and fail for years. Literally, it's my idea on YouTube. I have done nothing but fail when it comes to weight loss. And I know it's so easy to look at me as just like someone who has failed so hard on weight loss. But like I'm so much more than that. And I think that's why I'm like really confused my channel. Like what do I want on my channel? Like super confused because I want to be super weight focused. I still want to share my journey. It's like it's confusing your brain. Anyways, I rambled so much this video. I really want to one second. That's just like lecture. Anyways, I hope you guys did this video. I know how to lose weight better than anybody. I'm wearing the wrong shoes, fellas. I'm wearing the wrong shoes.